what is healing looks like for me. I've been on intentional healing journey on this trip of mine for last 16 months. I've been traveling, but the healing probably didn't start till last November or December 2023. So it's been close to, let's say, 10 months or so. And it took a while after since I left Australia, which was start of June. So it took me quite a lot of months to first undo what the work had done to me, the busy life, and slow down from that, and then go intentionally into the healing world. Why did I start on this journey is a question some people ask me. I always felt there was something missing. Even when I was in Australia, I had enough money, I had a great job, I had great friends, I was doing every weekend canyoning, which was my passion at the time. But there's always something missing, I felt, because there had been a lot of past hurt, conditioning, culture-wise. I migrated to Australia 13 years ago. There was never a time in my life when I intentionally sat down with myself long enough to hear myself, go inward. And I thought during this trip it became clear that it was about time that I looked inward. I healed my wounds, and this trip really made it possible, because sometimes when you're living in a crazy busy life, you're way too stressed and anxious, and you have too many deadlines and a lot of things to worry about. The last thing you need to do is start opening your wounds, which is your past hurts, your traumas, and your childhood traumas, your other issues that you have suppressed somewhere in your life. So for me, it's almost like the analogy I give to people I work with is, when somebody comes to your house, you clean your house really well. And sometimes if you're in a rush, what do? You put all the dust under the rugs, or you make it clean wherever people can look. But you don't always do a deep clean, we call it. In Australia, you can hire people to deep clean your carpet and stuff. But how often do we deep clean our house? Probably more often than we deep clean our insides, I suggest, because our life could look perfect. Especially in these days of media, social media and Facebook, Instagram and everything. You might have a perfect photo, and filters do a good job of making even your skin look perfect these days. And not often, first of all, people, I think, don't want to watch other people cry often. I know you can relate to people being vulnerable, but how often would you want to come back after work or have a busy day and look at somebody else talking about their traumas? Not very often. It's quite a heavy stuff. So what do? We make our life look clean enough and perfect enough from outside, and we put all the dust and dirt under the rug and hide it. And we keep suppressing anything happened to us or happening to us. We keep suppressing to make our life look good enough. And that's it. And we keep on living our lives. And sometimes it does blow up on our face. And if it's enough trauma, enough misery, it manifests either in our lives physically, emotionally, mentally. Illnesses come from that as well. So I have had to deal with pre-cancer myself, and I was wondering why did it happen. I live a very healthy lifestyle, very active, good food and everything. So I have started to come to understanding, also supported by all the research I've been doing, that if you do not deal with your trauma, if you keep putting the dust under the rug, it will manifest somewhere. So I have the tendency now, anything is happening in my daily life, I deal with it now. I don't leave it for tomorrow or day after tomorrow. If something is happening, I pay attention. I deal with the issue right then, so it's not festering. Because it took me months to deal with all the past trauma, to heal myself. It took a lot of courage, a lot of days where I was crying. Of course, I was not on social media for that. I was too busy crying and crying my guts out, and it was not pretty. It was painful, and I have empathy for people who find it hard to heal or even look at their wounds, because it's time consuming, it's emotionally draining, and it takes a lot of courage and probably support. And hence I would suggest anybody who has any intention of healing or have a better life, go and get some support, get people to support you. Retreats are healing on steroid, I call it, because it gives you a good structure where you can have people supporting you 24 hours during the period of the retreat. And also maybe find retreats or people who can support you before and after that too, because as much as a retreat have a promise of transformational, which they are, it can also leave you open to being in a vulnerable state. So make sure you choose, if you go for healing purposes, choose the right people, choose the right retreats for it. And I have been working on myself and supporting myself, and self-love, self-compassion, self-love has really helped me to be my own supporter in this journey, because I now have a clear, healthy boundaries with people, and people who do not respect my boundaries don't have a big place in my life anymore. I find it necessary to clean toxicity out of my life. I tell people with an example. Imagine you have a beautiful garden, right? You have beautiful roses, beautiful flowers, and you put a boundary around your garden so nobody accidentally walks over it. But then there are people who will just go towards your garden, trample your flowers. How would you feel? You will be very unhappy, and you will have the courage, because of this work you have put in your garden, to tell these people, first of all, please do not do that. And if they don't listen, you will keep your gate closed. You won't let these people in your garden. But then we take ourselves. How often do we have the courage to tell people who are trampling in our emotional garden to keep us out, keep them out, and tell them clearly, with respect,